Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm ShAunta Moore, Inspiration Zone, but it looks like I got somebody over there. What we say? That way, right there.
That
Miss
way.
BelaBiz from Try Tested Conquered. Good morning, OPNS family. As you see, we had the advertisement for the one, the only Dr. Toco was going to come on and give us some knowledge. Hey, you heard what I said, doctor, which means emergencies pop up. So, in the words of Bella Biz, here we go. The show must do what, Bella?
The show must go on. Good morning, OPNS family 97.1. We're here.
We're here. So, we tried to decide, okay, so what do we do with this? Do we go live? We were booked to be here at this time. So that's what we decided to do. We wanted to take and just chat with you today, some Q&A, ask some questions of us. What do you want to know about ShAunta? What do you want to know about Bella? I do know that God has blessed us to be able to connect and handle his kingdom business. I told Bella, I say, well, I guess I'm interviewing you today. And that is definitely coming because a lot of people don't know just how awesome this young lady is. Bella specializes in celebrity events and community concierge. She's the one that, you know what, even though it looks good, you're enjoying the concert or the award show. She's the one behind the scenes making sure that everything goes on without a hiccup. And it's always those unseen heroes, Bella is, that we don't give all of the credit to. But we definitely just want to chit chat today. So, what are we talking about? What's hot in the press? And listen, this is the opportunity to get those questions and answers in. We'll be here for about 25, 30 minutes. Here we grow. So, what are we going to talk about today, Bella? What's the first thing come to your mind?
Hey, I'm open. I want to start off talking about the elections. Okay, here we grow. Here we grow.
We can
We got
stay
the
right
runoff
there. Here
coming.
we grow.
Right, right. You
Yes.
making a statement talking about the fact that we celebrated over the weekend the very first African American female vice president, yours truly,
Whoop,
Senator
whoop,
Kamala Harris.
whoop.
Whoop-hoo!
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
newly elect 46th president of the United States, Mr. Joe Biden.
Right. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Whoop,
Yes,
whoop, whoop.
ma'am. Yes,
However,
ma'am.
there's no harm in celebrating because we got to do what we do. When you work hard, you play hard. But
That's good.
people, as you all watch my page, I always say, what? Stay
Stay
woke.
woke. And you know
Okay?
what's so funny, Bella? The beginning of the year, right when the pandemic started happening, that was the thing that God planted in my spirit. Stay woke. It's a setup.
Wow.
Stay woke. It's a setup,
Come on now.
and it's like, okay, if we would not have stayed woke, I don't think that we would have used our voices. I don't think, and the using of the voice, I am just so in awe, right,
Right.
of how people that once sat back comfortably silent decided to speak up. Because in that speaking up, we've changed the entire flow of the world. Do you know how awesome that is? How powerful that is? We're mothers, right? And
Yeah.
it's something about watching those babies go from a baby to a toddler. You know what I'm saying? To a whatever adolescent, and then teenager, and on. You're watching them grow into their best place. And I think that the world is on the verge right now of growing into their best place. What do you think?
Oh, I totally agree, touche. This pandemic, we could talk on and on about it, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
9 months in counting, 10 months
Mm,
maybe in counting. I want to say 10. We're
10.
into November, depending on if you're starting at the first of the year, which is
Right.
January. I know
Right.
technically for me, from a work aspect, I started working from home in March. March the
Okay.
2nd to be exact. But this
Okay.
pandemic, oh, it ain't over to the fat lady sayings. People say it ain't over to God says it's over. Okay, we've talked about that
Mm.
many times, Shanta.
Well, you know what? It's funny. We've heard from government, and honestly, it mainly came from government, from the White House, from President 45, that COVID had made a turn for the better.
Mm.
That was supposed to be the reasoning and the foundation for opening back the schools, opening back up the economy. But what's crazy to me is if it's getting better, why are the numbers still increasing? If it's getting better, why are we still having deaths daily? If it's getting better, why is it that, you know what? Okay, we were choosing to send our kids to school, and in that first week of school, we got 90 COVID cases. That to me does not say it's getting better. And you wonder why. I feel like that if we would have continued with a lot of the things in place and the government delivering on a lot of the promises that they made, that we would see a turnaround of this thing for the better. Because it wasn't until the executive orders was put in for the social
That's
distancing
right.
that really things got better.
That's
You
right.
know, I understand. Look, you miss your boo thing. I get it. You want to take the kids to the park. I get it. But my life is worth more than that. Well, I mean, so for me, I don't really think that it's where we can say that it's better. And then we're in the season where flu, the cold, you know what I'm saying, pneumonia, all of this stuff. That's like added danger zone. I mean, that's the way it registers for me.
Oh, I totally agree with you, ShAunta. I'm telling you, for me, I would use the word different. I wouldn't say
Okay.
better. It's different because as I ponder back on March, that's my start go to for this pandemic.
Uh-huh.
I think about the 159 counties in the state of Georgia, and everything was different. I think
Yeah.
my wrapping head around it was just understanding that Fulton County, which I now live in, prior to living in Cobb County, was different. What we did
Yeah.
in Cobb County was different in Fulton County. So for me, being personally and transparent, OPS family, it took me a minute to adjust to the different auspices, the different rules, the different regulations that were put out there. So you have to be mindful. Well, if I'm living in Cobb County, I need to go to Fulton County. I better make sure I'm aware of what's going on in Fulton County. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah.
Right. Right. I agree with that. And okay, so then when it comes down to travel, to me, okay, let's keep it real. And our OPNS family, listen, chime in on this. We want your opinions. Your opinion is your perspective is your reality. And here we grow. So definitely interact with us this morning as we are taking the time to just really come out and get some
Please.
conversational pieces out. Okay. But for me, I don't really want to sound like but to me, it's a common sense thing. If the house is on fire, I've got my family out. Why would I run back in it?
Mm, mm.
The world had to come to a standstill. Um, we walked around with better chances of remaining healthy by adhering to all of the social distancing things that was put in place. And I look, come on, keep it real. I'm a business owner myself, so I understand the impact. I'm a performer, so hey, I'm my job calls for me to be in front of people all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So social distancing impacted me head on. However, I get it, and I'm okay with it because if the social distancing kept me healthy, kept my family healthy, then to me it was worth it. What do you think?
I agree. You know what's interesting about that, ShAunta? I had several friends and colleagues as you, and I started to see, I don't want to say division. I'll try to be choiceful in my words, difference. Some people in my tribe was like, I'm definitely going to wear a mask 24/7. Other people in my tribe was like, what's the problem? I'm not going to wear a mask. So that was a challenge for me personally because as I quarantined myself personally, I took to heart this pandemic, meaning I stayed in. I had people living in my family, in my household, and I only stayed contact with my household for the first 3 months, keeping it real. But when I went to the store, aka example, a Kroger's or a Publix, no pun intended, I would notice everybody wear a mask. And this was in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the onset. And I thought to myself, hmm, what's that all about? So I began to just really, not along with looking at the news and making my own personal preference, this pandemic said to me, everybody had their own personal preference, right?
Right,
That was something to deal with. What do you think, Sean?
right. Um, your personal preference you're entitled to, but your personal preference should not put me in danger.
Right.
So just where you had people that were making their personal preference to do the social distancing, to wear the mask, you also had some people that were just determined that they were not. Oh my God, the videos that we've seen where people have been having to be dragged out of, Walmarts or refuse to be able to go into different businesses or different stores, all because they wanted to exercise their preferences. So when do we get to the point where we realize it's not about your preference, it's about following the mandate and the rules that were placed in place for the people that you get what I'm saying?
Oh
From
yeah.
the people that understand where we don't understand, because I don't know about you, but I'm not a doctor. I'm the bomb in what I do, but I'm not the doctor. So no matter how much the bomb I am in what I do, I don't know that. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they're looking for. So if we're always talking about dealing and abiding by the rules of the land,
right,
your perspective is not supposed to jeopardize my health. OPNS family, chime in. What do you think? And how are you right now in this era of this pandemic? Because the reality is we still in it.
absolutely.
We're still in it. I know
I
I
definitely
had
want to hear from the audience, because ShAunta, you were right, just in reference to personal. Then you got to take it to the local, state, mayor, governor level. And I really want to hear what the audience has to say, because I always love to dialogue from a different point of view. But where are we? Because as ShAunta says, we are still in dealing with this pandemic, COVID-19.
Listen. Good morning, Shay. Thank you for joining us. How are you dealing and coping in this pandemic right now? And I think the emphasis on right now is very important, because we've come a long way, y'all. Living in Metro Atlanta, it's always busy, constant, 24 hours a day. And the only times that I would get out and about, it was for necessities.
Yes.
And it was like a ghost town here. Like no cars on the interstate, no cars on Spaghetti Junction. That is unheard of in a 24-hour period in Metro Atlanta. And I think that was when it dawned on me, there's a shift at hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's something different. And this is, come on, Jesus, walk this thing.
Come on.
The only person that could,
come on,
author and allow a pause like this is the God Almighty. So I didn't get to the point where I was nervous or I was scared. It got my attention, like, okay, God, what are we up to? What are you doing? What are we allowing right now? In plain as day, I heard the Lord say, and when you place the blood upon your doorpost, the plague shall not come in.
Come on, man.
Scripture, so I wasn't running to and fro all scared. And no, it was just like, okay, now I'm alert. All right, Lord, what do you want me to do? Which way do I go? Stay home? Okay, I'm going to do that. Deal with your family? Okay, I'm going to do that. Go to the grocery store, take your behind home? I'm going to do that. So now it's like swiftly everything is opened back up. So it's a no-brainer to know that the cases are going to go back up.
And you know what, ShAunta, speaking on that, I know I found myself for about a 4-month period from March, April, May, June, continuously glued to the TV, MSNBC, CNN, Good Morning America, whatever. And to be quite frankly, that started messing with my mental psychic, if you will, right? Yep. And so again, Otis, we absolutely apologize for Dr. Toca. He did have an emergency. We was trying to hang in there to the end, but don't you touch that dial, because we definitely will have him back, because we want to talk about this, right? From the medical aspect, right, Queen? What's been going on? Because I will be transparent. Please chime in, audience. I am a fact about BelaBiz, aka Linda. I'm an extrovert. So when this pandemic hit for me in March, and I found myself tied to my computer, which I've been tied to 20 plus years. I know I look 25, y'all. I know I look 25. With about 25 years, month 2, it began to get to me. What do I mean by that? Wow, I was like, I'm a touch-feely extrovert, got to touch a person type of person. And I found myself confound in the comfort of my home, but I was tied to the computer. So that began to affect me because, as you all know, people, when you're extroverted and you're locked in, it gets to be a little challenging. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's what was going on with me, ShAunta.
Listen, Shay says, I just told my kids this last night that the Bible lets us know in Matthew 22:21, Jesus said, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's and to God the things that are God's. Romans 13:1, let every person be in subjection to the governing authorities. Shay, I'm going to need you to high five yourself for
Yes,
me.
Shay, way to go.
I'm going to need you because at the end of the day, people don't want to, you know, people take heed to and put weight on the scriptures that I feel like sort of okays what they're doing or what they think. And that is what keeps getting us in this never ending cycle of, going through troubles and damnation. Because, hello, let every person be in subjection to the governing authorities.
Yes.
Romans 13:1.
13.
Okay,
That's
now
right.
people would say, okay, so what? Am I supposed to be in government? Do you not know Black Lives Matter? Listen, stay focused. Because all of those details, all of those blocks were thrown in to take and trip us up, to pull us away from sound doctrine. It's just like as a parent, when I tell my child to do something, I expect them to do it. This is not a democracy. We're not going to go back and forth because, hey, God made me your parent, which means I'm the one that's supposed to take and give you the instructions, give you the directions. Now, what have we seen to come to pass when kids do disobey? Then normally it's some trouble. Normally falls head first into something. I did it. I know you did it, Bella. We all did it.
Oh, you
We
better
had to
bet it.
learn that rules are actually good. Rules actually gives us boundaries and structure that we may
Right.
not have the capacity to implement ourselves. That was a good point, Shay. Thank you so very
Yeah,
much,
Shay, thank you.
Bella.
We appreciate that. And speaking of this, just a little bit we'll touch on. I know there's been a lot of yin and yang and talk about, oh, you really shouldn't spank your child. Oh, that's child abuse. Listen, people, listen.
Spatteroids spoil the child. Okay, I'm sorry. Go
Hello.
ahead.
The disclaimer, what we're speaking, and we are speaking directly from our own personal experience, so we are not endorsing any candidate, any person. This is just speaking from our
Right.
heart. But I tell
Right.
you, I grew up with a couple of spankings, a couple of switches, and I think God turned out all right. So people, listen, that's just my personal opinion. I don't see anything wrong with admonishing your children on a physical level, but I get it because some of those parents are like, hey, I'm going to talk to my child and give them a timeout. Well, didn't work for me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Take it
Didn't
out.
work for me. I got you. And listen, my oldest son, yeah, that didn't work for him either. It's like, okay, and I'm that type of parent that I don't like spanking my kids. That don't mean I won't. Because I know that I have to take and train that child up. Come on. I love the way God is just keeping the scriptures coming,
Yes.
training that child up in the way that he or she's supposed to go, not the way they want to go, not the way that they agree to go, not the way that they like to go. God didn't give them all of that distraction. God is not the author of confusion. God chose me. He chose you. He chose the viewers to be the parents of the children. He gave us a little piece of him to be good steward over. I ain't concerned about being my child's friend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you like me, I'm also
right.
we're
And
cool with that. You like me, I like you.
Let me say this. While we're talking about children, right, and we're talking about the topic of the pandemic, me, myself, I have one grown daughter. Bless God, bless God, bless God with one daughter. And she's exactly not like me. Because I was something else. I was something else. My daughter, shout out to Ashley. Love her. I had no
Shout
issue
out,
with her.
Ashley.
But I'm going to tell you something, Queen, where I'm going with this. I think about a lot of my friends who have children. During this pandemic, I cannot even imagine and fathom mothers out there. Shout out to the mothers still to have to deal with your children, school age, whether they're either being virtually schooled or going in or vice versa. I have several friends in the education system. Let me tell you something, ShAunta. They were scared. because some of them, based on the county they lived in,
Yeah.
had to
You know, I
physically
have
go in to this workplace to work. They had to wear masks, okay? But the
yeah.
children didn't wear masks. I know it's a lot going on out there, but I want to hear from our audience just in terms of some of those moms out there. Shout out, moms. Shout out.
Right. Right.
Hats
Right.
off to
Right.
you. How you
You
dealing with
know, I have a 5-year-old, and this year was to be her first year in big girl school. Yay! We were looking forward to kindergarten. We graduated and got that diploma from, pre-K. And it didn't happen. We
Mhm.
didn't go to big girl school. So I had a choice to make. And it's amazing. And I love the way God is navigating this conversation. Pandemic happens. It
Right.
attacks everybody's normal. It attacks everybody's income. It attacks everybody's way of living, which weighs on you mentally, because it's like I walked into a room and the light was on and all of a sudden it was off.
Yeah.
And so I get that we're all different and we all think differently and we all believe differently and we all operate differently. So some of us, it took more of a toll on than others. Um, I didn't get depressed when it came down to me understanding, okay, she's at home.
Mhm.
You can't rip and run for your business like you used to. Oh God, all of the rest of your calendar for 2020 has been
Right.
canceled.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, I had preaching engagements, I had singing engagements, I had book signings, all of this stuff, and it was just done. So yeah, I was aware of that, but I did not allow it to control the narrative of how I ran my family. The challenge for me, you're teaching your children, right?
Right.
Well, here I have a kindergartner, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, Jesus, I got to teach her right. Wait a minute. I got to show her how to write the letters. Wait a minute. We got to do these words. At least she was at school, and then I could just what is this, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
right. So the weight for me was I didn't want to do her any injustice. And that may sound really crazy, being that I'm always before people and I'm always speaking and I'm always, uplifting and motivating. But it was like my eyes popped wide open when it came down to understanding. Oh, that's good, God, the way you just connected that. Understanding that this is a babe that is getting ready to go out into the world, or ministry is the exact same way. We are all babes in the ministry and we have
Yes.
to feed to grow and mature. It's the same exact thing that I'm doing with my 5-year-old. And oh, the feeling, oh, the reward of seeing me put the time in. Come on, Jesus. I feel the
Yeah.
shift in the atmosphere of me putting time in to sit down and teach her, and watching those light bulbs come on in her. And now she's able to do it herself and riding around singing the song, I can do it by myself. And so I think about all of this, how many families was falling apart because we
Yes.
were all so busy being busy, and the babies were put on the back burner.
You
There's
know,
been a
you bring up a
quote.
good point, ShAunta, about that because a lot of my friends who have the school age children, toddler up into high school, said
Mhm.
that. And two of them in particular, I won't name their names just for privacy. They were like, hey, listen, Belle, it forced me to really spend the time that I was feeling guilty about anyway, being the single mom, bringing home the bacon every day, right? So
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah,
you don't know what you don't know, but when you're forced and things shift, what do? We go with the grain. And they were like,
right,
make lemonade
right,
out of the lemons. I'm spending more time, quality time, although I have a list of 25 things to do with my child on top of me getting my work together and getting that paycheck. But it's the time. It's the
it's the
time spent
time.
with children. Remarkable.
Yeah, it made it. I'm an old school parent. When my babies were little, because I have blessingly 5 children, and when my kids were little, sitting at the dinner table was a must. Nobody was in their room eating. Nobody was parlayed in the living room on the couch eating. Nobody was sitting. We were at the table as a family,
Mm-hmm.
okay, getting to know one another, getting to interact with one another. And even I always say pain pushes us into our purpose,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, it's amazing. The pain of the world shutting down pushed us back into the purpose of what's important. And that's that family value and understanding. Yes, we are supposed to leave a legacy behind for our children. That's what makes us a just man. That's what makes us honorable in the eyes of God. Leaving a legacy behind ain't just material.
That's right.
It's not just money. You know, what are we planting on the inside of these babies that's going to grow and lead them into the abundance that God has for them? So, you know, where COVID has been a scary, unpredictable time for the world, I just do believe that families are going to be better once we are able to move a little freer. Shay says, so we must obey the laws, yet still trust God. Ding, 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 ding.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's hard because you can't really breathe in the mask. I understand that. But we must stay focused because the enemy is throwing so many distractions. Oh, Shay, I love you. Is there the distractions? Is there problems in the world? Yes. But we must not get so caught up that we lose our God focus. I had to regroup because I was tripping out, getting caught up in the panic, especially when the health issues and other things. Amen. Thank you for your transparency,
Okay,
Shay.
thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Dead on.
And it's
Right
so
on,
it can be so confusing
yes.
if we try to read too much into it. And what I mean by that, everything that she said was very profound. It's like, okay, wait a minute. Not panic, obey the laws of the land, but we got to trust God in the midst of all of that because God is the one that created the individuals that created the laws. See the way that works? So he's in control.
That's right. Always.
He's in control of it all, you know. And I think about just the story biblically of Pharaoh always sticks out into my mind because of training and generational teaching. Pharaoh was groomed to believe that he was God. Yes. That the morning and the noon and everything rose and you know what I'm saying? And even though those before him taught him that, planted that seed in him, as a child we do childish things, and as an adult we're supposed to leave those childish things behind. So you got to study to get an understanding. Amen. And if you don't get the understanding, then you wind up getting swallowed up by the Red Sea. You know, so the way she says it, you know, yes, we obey the laws of the land, but we also have to trust God in the process. 100% right. Because here's the thing, if I'm doing it right? Let's say, okay, social distancing. Me and my kids, we weren't going anywhere unless it was, you know, pertinent to, we needed groceries or the pharmacy or something like that.
Essential.
Now, you know, here lately, I mean, we just went to one of our awesome new marketers, Novu in College Park on last week to celebrate the state turning blue, right?
Yes.
And here's the thing, walk in with my mask, remove my mask to eat, walk out with my mask. You know, it's like there's such a new norm and a new way of doing things, but we do have to take heed to following the laws of the land and trusting that God is going to make all the crooked places in the laws straight.
Amen. Let me tell you something. I'm glad you said that because you know me, ShAunta. You know, we're in the bed together. This is my new partner. And oh, I love my queen. But one thing about me, I make sure I learn what Queen just said, what the rules of the land is at the time. Very important. Very important. It's kind of like that thing, when you know better, you do better. It's kind of like that thing, you got to know where you came from in order where you know how to go. You got to know, in my personal opinion, and this is Bella talking, you should know where you live at and what the rules are.
Yes.
One more time. You should know where you live and what the rules are. Because I know for me, I'm in the office of the city of Atlanta. And so I'm following the guidelines of Mayor Keisha Lance's Bottoms, meaning I better know. If I'm going to the city of Atlanta, I better know those ordinances and I better be wearing my mask. Because if I don't wear my mask, right, there's precautions with that. And so I'm just advising, I love my OPNS family as we continue to parlay through this pandemic. Please I'm very keen because I wear many hats. There are 159 counties in the state of Georgia. No, during this pandemic, where you are, what county you live in, and what you should be doing as we travel to and fro. Right, Queen? To these
Right.
other, you just got to know what you got to know, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I agree totally. And even in the travel, there hasn't been any live performances for Miss ShAunta Moore all year.
Yeah.
Worship is my life. It is not just what I do to earn a living. I believe, breathe where God allows me to teach and sing.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was like my lifeline. And, dealing with other people and being a living example for them. There's a one of my favorite gospel songs, speak over yourself, encourage yourself in the Lord, and every time I found myself on stage ministering before God's people, I was giving them what he wanted me to give them, but I was also speaking over me. So I had to figure out another way. Does the fact that I can't go on a stage right now does that make God any less more the source for me?
Okay.
Does it mean that I believe any different? Does it mean that my worship is any different? And so for me personally, I had to step back and go, okay, God, all of the things that you blessed me to be able to teach, preach, and sing on for years, hey, it's time for me to walk that thing out. Not that I had not been walking it out, but the flowing of the world made it easier. The test is, what do you do when you're standing by yourself?
Ooh,
if I'm not mistaken, isn't that integrity?
Yes,
what
ma'am.
do you do when all eyes ain't on you?
Ooh.
What do you believe when you're not, standing in front of a crowd with a microphone? The essence of who we are as an individual was challenged this year. And a lot of people failed. A lot of people, the realness of their heart was on display. A lot of division, a lot of separation, So it's like, what do you do? This pandemic, guess what? It had to happen to get our attention as a nation, not a person, not a household, as a nation. And I just do believe that government is lining up the way God intended for it to be, not the way we fell victim to it being. What do you think?
Oh, that's good. Listen, this is some spiritual food today, and
Yes.
I'm OP&S family, along with what ShAunta is saying. Bella by her biz. I want to speak to a few of the people out there just regarding to where you are with your career, where you are with your business. I know for me, and we're still going through, right? This quality time that we wouldn't have put on ourselves, that we know the man upstairs, the God our Father's done. Take the time, ladies and gentlemen, take the time, because I know I have to reflect on what are my gifts, right? What is my anointing? What am I really, really good at?
Come on, Bella.
And I'm excellent. I love journaling. I went back to my 18. I say 18, ladies and gentlemen, have 18 journals over the years. And I began to go back and look at them, ShAunta, and I saw 3 books. Not 1, not 2, but 3 books. And this time, this is BelaBiz talking. It's your girl Bella, the new kid on the block. I thank God for it, because now I'm beginning to understand more and more, day by day, ShAunta, that this is precious time with I and the Father. And so, thanks to that, businesses are being born, new ideas. Oh my gosh. So I just encourage the OP&S family to stay positive. We all know we're going through. We all know we get depressed. We all know we have a lot of things that we can speak out of our mouths. But you know what God says, ShAunta. Come on now. Choose ye this day. What are you going to do?
Who you going to serve?
Blessings or cursing, life or death. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Trust me when I tell you that. So I'm choosing to be positive. Do I have my days? Absolutely. But I'm trying not to speak those things as though they are.
Come on.
Right? Come on, man. It's just on me, ShAunta. I just want to share some nuggets with our audience this morning, because come on, this is Wellness Wednesday. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we can help ourselves just by renewing the mind.
Come on.
We don't have to necessarily have Dr. Toca, although we're going to have him on here. since he's got surgery this morning. But my point is, as I'm slowing it down, ladies and gentlemen, I got to give it to you because this is BelaBiz, the new kid on the block. We can do things like renew our mind. How? Just sitting quietly. For those who've been following us, Robin F. Davis said, breathe, Bella. Just
breathe. Breathe. Take the moment instead of falling victim to the busyness or the not knowing, or just take the time to breathe. Bella, you just said something, and the building, we're in the middle of a pandemic, which means we had to figure out some new ways to handle some old business. We had to figure out some unique ways to keep the money flowing. And I'm not saying sitting around waiting on a stimulus check that ain't gonna come.
Come on.
We had to figure out a way to keep our lights on, to keep food on the table. So this challenge of 2020, I just do believe, has forced people, forced the nation to level up in their thinking, in their creative mind. Do you know how many businesses has been birthed in the center of a pandemic? I know God has done quadruple for my business in this pandemic that I didn't even see. You understand? And so it's like, what is your mind fixated on? Okay,
Yes.
Do we fall victim? Do we tuck our tail and run at the first sign of adversity? Or do we say, okay, God, show me what to do. Show me what to say. Show me. Oh, God, how many times do we hear social media? It's a foolish thing.
Yes.
How many businesses are still functioning because of social media? Don't worry, I'll raise my hand. Here we go.
Come on.
How many businesses are growing because of the one thing that people used to call the foolish thing? And it was amazing how this particular portal became the divider between what was supposed to be important and what wasn't. And I just do believe that God just really got tired of the competition, of the comparison. Understand that I placed you in this land so that you can live this life more abundantly. And because you always got your mouth on somebody else's something, the world is more divided than it is prospering right now. And I just do believe the Lord said, I'm not pleased. So I tell you what, let me go ahead and shut this down. Let me allow the craziness that man has planted. Let's keep it real.
Come on.
Let's go ahead and allow the craziness that man has planted to do exactly what he wanted it to do.
Come on.
The difference is now I took control out of his hands. Ain't no starting it and stopping it where you want it to be. I tell you what, since you big, bad, and bold, and you know all that I'm thinking, right? Let me sit back and see how this works for you. But I just don't think that it done work for us. Not the way we wanted it.
You know what, ShAunta? I got a comment, partner, because I love my queen. You are absolutely 200% correct. What the folks don't know out there in our OPNS family, they gonna know in a few.
Come on.
ShAunta, when you and I start revealing really who we are, why we where we are today, oh family, we'll make
and here
sure.
And you know what? It's not about a boast. Y'all
Right.
look now. Y'all gotta know when I go to scratching my head, that mean I'm thinking.
Yeah, buddy. Come on, queen.
It's not about a boast. It's not about a brag. It's not about letting you know that I'm bigger and better than you. I got better stuff to do with my time. It ain't about none of that. It's about understanding that under kingdom doctrine and kingdom growth, the pandemic is just a word. I need you to understand what I'm saying, because God is saying, okay, I've allowed the pause in the land. I've gotten the attention of the entire world. Now, what are you going to do here?
Come on.
What are you going to do here? He's bringing the scripture to my mind of the lady that was going to make the last cake, and her son was going to eat it and sit by the tree and die. Oh, but God had an angel waiting on her and said, I tell you what, God has heard your heart. So were you about to make that last pie, eat it and die, make it and bring it to me?
Yes.
Now, come on. And I've heard so many people reference this because we got to keep it real. I'm pretty sure she was like, what?
Yep.
Didn't I just tell you this is my last?
Yep.
So you want me to do what now?
Yep.
I want you to trust God. And even though it looked crazy. It sounded crazy. Y'all catch this. Even though it looked crazy, even though it sounded crazy, even though it seemed like it was her destined end, she obeyed the instructions and the voice of God. She went home. She used her very last. She baked that last cake, that last pie, that last cornbread. And instead of her and her son doing what was in her will, she fulfilled the will of God. God said, bring it to me.
Come on.
And because of her obedience, if I'm not mistaken, said that your cupboard would never run empty.
I believe.
Didn't say that you was going to be the one to fill it.
Absolutely.
Didn't say that you were going to be the one that had to fill it. Didn't say that you were going to have to work yourself 80 hours a week to fill it. No, it just said, just understand it ain't going to never be empty. Oh, if we could understand that concept in the season right now. If we could understand that even though it looks real damaging, even though it looks like, you know what, I got to close the doors to this business and I'll never be able to start again. Watch what you speak.
Yeah.
Because the closing of that door may just have been because it was in the way of the new door. You have no idea. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. So what are we thinking and believing in this season? She baked her last piece of bread.
Yes, she did.
Followed the instructions of the Lord, going back to what Shay said. So we must obey the laws, yet still trust God. You got to be able to hear that small, still voice.
Come
because
on, Queen.
I promise you, it's going to produce more in your life that's going to last than the cluttered conversations of the people of the world.
Come on.
Go ahead.
Let me say this, Queen. Queen is smoking. You all know us. I'm a little bit early, but you know what I always say? Grab that notebook, grab that iPad, grab that intro, and just write some of these things, because I want to say thank you, Q Harper, for coming in. We don't count it on joy. We know you could have been doing anything this morning.
Amen.
Q Harper said, kingdom blessings. When I saw that, Q, you know what I thought about? If we really stop and think right now today where we are and get quiet, as my queen that way suggested, because we've all been there and done that, and really get true to yourself and get quiet, you will hear the voice of God. Mm-hmm. And you will be thankful. I am 100% sure of my name, Linda Diane Rigby Bridges. I got a lot of names. I got a lot of names, but I'm sure, because I know what I know. When you stand still, and know that he is God, oh, he will reveal himself to you. I promise you that, my family.
And with the business owners that are on here right now, how has your business grown in this season? Now, hear what I just said. How has your business grown? Because so as a man thinketh, so is he. Yeah. So if your thinking had to evolve, then anything connected to you had to evolve. How has your business grown in the season that was supposed to scare us into a corner? There's been so many blessed connections, kingdom connections, Q, that has taken place in the world of OPNS and Ocean Eye Productions. And anybody that knows me, I've owned Ocean Eye Productions for 17 years, and I have been on the journey for 17 years. And there has been good, there has been bad, there has been, oh my God, I can't do this. But you know what? I'm still here, through it all, I made it, So how is your business growing right now?
Yeah.
Because I believe, and all of these songs are coming to my head, what is it? I don't feel no ways. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. So if he did not bring me this far to leave me, that means I need to be able to be in a mental place, even in the middle of the storm. COVID 2020 has been a storm all year long. But God has let us know that I can be your shield, your covering, your armor, your anchor in the middle of the storm. You don't necessarily have to drown because the waters look scary. So what are you thinking? What are you allowing yourself to rise in and to believe every day when it comes down to the growth of your business? I'm sorry. Do you feel like it's
Let me interject, ShAunta, just for you all. I gotta say it because I know you know it. It's not all the way monetary. It's not always about the dollar,
yeah?
the check,
Come
about
on,
the Benjamins, whatever terminology in your age graphic that you're using. A
come
lot
on.
of times it's invaluable, measurable things that you can't even put a dollar on, like thanking you, Jesus, thank you, Lord, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Some of my friends have gone and moved on because of COVID or whatever. It's the little small things that this is Bella talking, that I'm always grateful for. I still got food on my table.
Come on.
I still got a roof over my head. I still got clothes I can put on. And more importantly, I don't know about y'all, but I've actually had an opportunity to save
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
24/7 working from home.
You better say it,
I'm
Bella.
not traveling as much. Come on,
You better
ShAunta.
say it. You better say it.
Longer than I normally have. So just think. It's not always monetary. God has grown us in our businesses, in our families, exponentially. I'm going to continue to stand firm with the word of God on that, ShAunta. Can't nobody move me on that.
No, and you know, you said something, because that's exactly where I was going. It's not all about the monetary, and also, just because you may not have a structural building does not mean that you're not a business.
That's right.
Just because you do not have a brick and mortar location does not mean that God did not plant that business on the inside of your belly. I see one of my dear friends on here, which has actually been my stylist in past times, celebrity stylist Sherrell Britt. She's on right now. And I mean, personal, she's a stylist. Mm-hmm. That means she got to be in front of people. That means she got to have her hands in people's heads. That means she got, but COVID said, that's too close. They can't be breathing on you. So I can only imagine. And you know what? No, I can't imagine the weight that fell on her in this time, not to be able to do what she needed to do to make ends meet. So it's those type of, those businesses. It doesn't make her any less a stylist. Now she just got to figure out another way. There's a concept, and I'm not going to share it. Well, actually, it's on her website. Yes, I will. My stylist, Makita Phillips, a mobile stylist, celebrity stylist, set stylist. She does it all the time. All right. She does it everywhere. But she was affected by COVID as well. Yeah. She couldn't go and do it. So Makita developed and has patented your stylist in a box.
All right, now.
And when I saw it, I said, in a box, but the box ain't got no hands. She took the time, and like I said, this is hers. It belongs to her. She got all the rights to it. So I can let people know, go to Kita Celebrity Styles and click on, stylist in a box. She has placed everything in this box that you need to walk on a set ready.
I love it. Where's mine at, Queen? Where's mine?
Yes, I'm telling you, along with instructions.
Makita, I need one.
Listen, along with instructions and a wig. She's on set this morning. What? So it's one of those things where it's like, wait a minute. If COVID would not have happened, if COVID would not have created that challenge, she wouldn't have birthed that baby.
Come on now.
She wouldn't have birthed that baby. You had, God bless you. Good morning, Apostle Vanzant. And I was about to go there. Your timing is perfect. We had so many pastors and so many ministers. Hey, their structural buildings shut down. So now they didn't know how to reach the people. Now that, you know what I'm saying? Now they didn't have, hey, here we grow.
Got to go online.
Here we grow. And now it was a season where you had to study to show yourself approved to do something different. Come on. You had to study to show yourself approved to be able to grow in something different. Oh, and I'm just a firm believer you will realize who people really are when they maximize the only platforms that we have available to us right now, when this has been the go-to, but now the economy is opening back up, and now we go back to talking about the thing like the bridge that we went across to get over. Who does that? How I got over. You don't forget how you got over. If anything, how can we make this better? If anything, how can we do something different with it? We are in a time and in a season where the old just ain't working.
Come on now. You know what came to my mind, ShAunta? I thought about, we were really forced, because it stays in my mind all the time. Insanity. What is the definition of insanity? Oh my goodness. Keep on doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expect different results.
Yes.
What's going to happen, people? Right?
Not in this season.
You better
Not
talk.
in this season.
You better
You know, and I'm putting it in now as you were talking. I heard it plain and day. In this season, we have been challenged to think outside the box. You know, for me, and I may step on some toes here, but here we grow. I tell everybody, when I started out, I'll tell you that religion was what grew me.
Yes.
Right? But
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, relationship is what sustains me. You got to start somewhere. And that the older generation was able to give us, there was a lot of structured religious teaching. And it forced a lot of people to not want to go to church. Not want to sit and have a conversation about God. Now, am I saying grandmama got it wrong? Absolutely not. And because of her labor and her teachings, I am sitting before you today. Hear me with what I'm saying. But as we grow and as we become adults and we evolve, now it's our turn to do whatever it is that God has shaped, molded, and created us to do this season with what grandmama taught us, with what mama taught us. It does not dismiss beautiful beginnings. Oh, but you should not be at the beautiful beginning point. Grandmama began that run. Mama began that run. Great grandma. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
The start did not start with you. And here is the beautiful revelation. If it did start with you, go ahead on with your bad self. That means God is trusting you to implement the shift and the change that is needed to continue to grow us. Don't get to the point where we feel like we've arrived, that we actually turn around and demolish the bridge that we had to cross over. Because just like you crossed over that bridge, it's going to serve a purpose for somebody else.
Oh, Queen is on a roll. You're right. And Queen, I want to interject that because that goes back to what we said early a few minutes ago, just the whole thing about you gotta know. I say this all the time. You gotta know where you came from. Come on, audience. Come on.
In order to appreciate where you going.
There you go.
Shay, I hear you, baby. Shay says, I don't have a business yet. I'm not sure what I want to do, but I have a nonprofit organization, but I've been struggling. I need help, Queens. Baby, you in the right place.
Oh, yeah.
I have a 12 o'clock meeting today to where I'm actually, one of the things about OPNS, which is Ocean Eye Productions Network Studios, we handle everything from, come on, Bella, what am I miss? Artist development, celebrity events and concierge, community events. I said artist development. Marketing, artist recording, television broadcast, radio broadcast.
Virtual administration.
Right, virtual administration, business, can help you with your business plan. We are branded as a one-stop shop. And I have a meeting today at 12:30 with a young lady that actually just hired our firm to help her with her development and strategy. So Shay, you asked the right question. Okay, people on here, we have not, because we what?
Ask not.
Shay, you asked, and I tell you what, I need you to go, Shay, when we get offline and inbox me your phone number. And I'm going to call you.
And email.
And phone number and email. And between myself and Bella, baby, you about to be about your biz, because God did not plant the seed for it not to be watered and grow. And I thank God that in this space right now, we know that there's some watering going on. I am just so excited about the kingdom growth and the kingdom connection. We got to get out of the mindset, okay, well, I got this idea, so I'm going to hold on to it. Yeah. It takes it back to the biblical, when the man of God blessed the people with 5 gifts. God blessed 5 gifts, 2 gifts, and 1.
Yes.
And the one with 5 realized, I got multiple. So let me go ahead and plant this seed so it can get multiplied. Let me go ahead and be a blessing.
Let me say this, Shay. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Queen, but I'm just getting hot. We got to jump off in a few minutes. But let me say this to what Apostle Vanzant said. Absolutely. She was commenting on Queen's stylist, Marquita. God gave her kingdom strategy in a box.
Yes.
Hey, check this out, Shay. God is no respecter of person, baby doll. Baby doll, baby doll. Because what he did for Marquita and Queen and Bella and everybody. He can do the same thing for you. And guess what? What's the beautiful thing about it? He personalizes. He personalizes right to all of his children. So Shay, you hang in there, sweetheart, because it's all
Yes.
in you. Our goal is to help.
Help.
Again, help Shay,
Yes.
to help you, help yourself to get what's inside of you down below. On out, baby. So just hang on in there. He got kingdom business in you, baby. Come on,
Come
Queen.
on, come on, come
Queen.
on.
I'm ready to
I'm
walk
just
around. I'm ready to do a cartwheel, Queen.
she just started rocking. You know, we just had a staff meeting last night, and one of our constant reminders of each one of us that are affiliated with OPNS is one, it's never about us, the individual. Because even with this gift, this seed, Shay, that God has planted on the inside of you, Bishop T.D. Jakes said it best. God will give you the vision, but it's not intended for you to run it by yourself. His scripture says that it's not good for man to dwell alone. Honey, that's with your thoughts, with your ideas, with your money, with your time. There's a time and a season for everything, to where we are set aside to be able to grow and be shaped and molded, you know. And in this season, we got to understand that teamwork makes the dream.
Makes the dream work, baby.
Just because you need the help or the assistance, I don't know who this is for, but catch this. Just because you need the team, just because you need the help and assistance to help you develop the idea that God has planted on the inside of you, don't make it any less yours. It don't mean he's going to trust you any less with it. But you got to understand something. We got to be able to be a good student before we can be a good steward over the idea and the people, the vessels connected to it, in order to release it to the land. So we're in a season where God is saying, no, you've been on this boat of one forever and you can't seem to get nowhere. Get ego, attitude, and pride out of the way and let the people help you that I have set up to help you.
And Quinn, you know how I always do on try, test it, conquer. Let's rewind, repeal before we get off. Let's give them simple, 1, 2, 3, so it can resonate. I know we see a lot. We love you all, and we talk from the heart. This is not rhetoric. This is from the voice of God. With ShAunta, give them one more time that last little tidbit so they can leave meditating on what you're about to say. Come on now.
Kingdom connection, kingdom growth takes kingdom. And there's more than one person in the kingdom. So when you think about it, how many times the opportunities presented itself to you, but because you were so protective of this idea and I got to figure this out. But in the words of Shay, I have no idea what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
God has taken and set aside someone that he's made you their assignment. He's made you their assignment. So you got to get out of the way and let God finish what he started. It started by planting the seed on the inside of you. It's finished when you know what? Your team is at the table. We're getting ready to sign the dotted line. We're getting ready to cut the ribbon. The business does not open because you had an idea. You got work to do. And on this journey of doing that work, a lot of the work is personal.
Yes.
I am a headstrong woman.
Oof.
Anybody that know my mama know I got it honestly. But I had to get to the point where I realized in all that I do know, I don't know everything. And being able to receive good doctrine and teaching and tutelage from those people that God has strategically placed in my circle doesn't make me any less the one that he gave the idea to, the one that he planted the idea in, the one that he gave the gift. Bella said this morning as we were getting ready to go live, I was singing one of my latest releases. So how do you do that thing with your voice where you just run, you know? And I've had a lot of people to say that to me. And my answer is, I just open my mouth and it comes out. What is God waiting on you to open your mouth so it can come out? Mm-hmm. What is that thing that he's given you? but you are allowing fear, or because you don't look like somebody else, because you don't sound like somebody else, or maybe somebody told you you weren't good enough to have the desires of your heart. We're going to hit the delete button on that voice, and we're going to take it
Delete.
back to scripture. And God says that you can have the desires of your heart. Here's the thing. You ain't going to get it by going through the world. God says you got to come through me. So, one, recognize the gift that God has given you. Two, allow yourself to be taught how to cultivate, come on somebody, the gift that he's given you. Three, run that marathon, run that thing out. Is Bella.
Ooh.
Bella, and all the stuff that you do, and I'm gonna end this way. A lot of people, Bella, she don't put it out there. Ain't gonna tell all of your business. But Bella is that person that, when it dealt with the Trumpet Awards or the BET or different functions, those major functions, Bella had the weight of the world on her shoulders to where, you know what? Even though this person is getting all glammed up to go out because their name is in lights, she needed to make sure that everything was right so they could be in the spotlight. Listen, if you are the one that God has called in position to be behind the scenes, understand just how important your role is. Bella, that's your lane. Take that thing home.
Ooh, baby. We only have a few minutes left because, as you all know, OPNS family, we are what?
24/7 international inspiration.
I thought so, but I would count on robbery if I didn't say this. You all need to stay tuned because I am the new kid on the block, and I'm telling you, Queen is about to do an interview with me. Oh boy, y'all gonna get
it's about to go down.
It's about to go down, but with the love of Jesus on us.
Amen.
We mean what we say, and we say what we mean. We talk the talk. Come on, Queen, and we all talk the walk. Are we perfect? No, never will be. But what we are, we're truthful in God's word, and we are transparent. We will let you all know all this glam up. Well, y'all know me. I'm doing it myself because I don't have the makeup on.
Say COVID keeps that artist away a little bit. She can't be in front of her all the time like we won't.
But the point is, we love y'all with the love of Jesus. We give you our heart, mind, soul, and we're going to take it off with that, Queen.
COVID had to happen.
Yes.
So that you could show up. Remember that. Hey,
Shay is on it. We're going to close out with Shay. Shay, you are dead on. It does take a village, baby girl. Can't do it alone. Man was not built to be alone.
No, because when you're alone, I don't know about you, but I wind up going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, that mind. Oh, that mind. Goes to
and it's what the devil's playground.
Queen.
Listen, here we grow, guys. Understand exactly what that means. Thank you for not considering a robbery to chat with me and BelaBiz today. This was the merge of Inspiration Zone and Tried, Tested, Conquered. Thank you. We love you, and understand something. Every time God allows us to be able to be before you, whether it's with guests or whether it's just us, to be able to commune and converse and grow to our best place, we're going to take advantage of that opportunity. I hear the Lord saying that's what's going on while you're not moving, because you're not taking advantage of the opportunity at hand. Time to more Inspiration Zone and
BelaBiz, Tried, Tested, Conquered. It's your girl.
Right here on OPNS 97.1. Oh, I cannot get off of here. The one and only Miss Loretta Holloway has chimed in. Hello, beautiful.
Hey,
hello.
Queen.
Yes. God, I love you. Thank you so much for coming on in the room. I see you, Sharella. How to cultivate, you said a mouthful. Nothing but the blood of Jesus.
We love you, guys. We love you, Sharella.
If you missed it, go back and watch it. God was dropping some awesome nuggets, some awesome wisdom. And hey, it's time to realize God has kept us in this COVID 2020. God has grown us spiritually, financially, business-wise in this COVID-19 2020. So don't look at it as a bad thing, because, honey, you're better than you were before COVID showed his ugly face. OPNS 97.1. Your girl ShAunta, Miss BelaBiz, and we are out. Shay, I'm looking for that email, that voice says we got work to do.
Come
Kingdom
on,
business,
chat.
is that what she said? Kingdom business. Here we
Kingdom
go,
business.
guys. Love you to life.